Hey guys, how's it going? A couple months ago we did a little Vigilance Elite mail call where I posted something on community tab and took a couple of questions and answered them to the best way I could. And so now we're going to do it again. Sorry it took a minute. Last time I checked there was 666 questions under the comment that I left on the community tab, and I wanted to wait till that number changed. So it's not my favorite number. So anyways, we're going to go through about 10 to 20 questions. Here we go. Question 1. Tim213 asks, why do special operators like yourself live in the country or not in the city away from people after deployments and or retirement? Well, Tim, if you haven't noticed, I did a video on social anxiety, and you see a lot of messed up shit with humanity as an operator. And for me, I don't really like being around people. Traffic bothers me, lines bother me, crowds bother me, and being out in the middle of nowhere, I don't have to worry about any of that shit anymore. So being out in nature with my waterfalls and my creeks and my land, where I don't have to listen to the news hype everything up every day and everybody's opinion, this just being out here brings me peace. So I can't speak for everyone, but that's why I did it. So I hope that answers your question. That's a shot. Question number 2 from Grey Wolf. How did you deal with leaving the teams? And do you still miss the brotherhood over the service? I know I damn sure do. Grey Wolf, I know you asked this like 3 or 4 times. I saw all the comments, so I guess you were just making damn sure I saw you. I did. Yeah, leaving the teams was tough. It was real tough. How did I deal with it? Well, if you want me to be honest with you, the best thing for me was to cut ties with it. Let it go, move on with my life, quit listening to everybody's war stories that are still over there. You know, if I need to go to a memorial service or something like that, that's one thing. If somebody needs help, that's one thing. But I stopped being proactive in the community for a while because I had to take care of myself. And once I took care of myself, things started getting a lot better. I didn't miss it as much, and then I started coming around a little bit more, hence the podcast, right? So maybe the best thing for you to do is cut ties with it for a little bit, kind of do your own thing, find yourself, find what you like again. I didn't even know what I liked when I got out of the teams. I had no hobbies. And take some time for yourself, figure things out, go enjoy life a little bit, quit worrying about the teams. But I know that's a lot easier said than done, but that's what did it for me. So best of luck to you, man. Stress relief. Austin Murphy. This is kind of a tough question here. I'm 26 years old, just had a relationship with my girlfriend, essentially wife because of how much time we've shared, of 6 years, and have dreamed of doing something special in the military since I was 16. My entire life, people have told me that I should have done it and how well it would have fit me. I now have a house and a mortgage, and I'm approaching 28 years old, the cutoff limit for SEALs. Do you think I should go for it? And what advice would you have for someone like me? Thanks, Shawn. I'm in a tough crossroads in my life right now and don't want to be an old man filled with regret. Well, Austin, I mean, really, the only person that can answer whether you should or not go in is you. But all I'm going to tell you is if you really want to do it, then go for it. Don't let anything hold you back. I hear there's a lot of guys that I hear this exact same story from, probably more than I can count. And all I'm going to tell you is being an operator, it's not always everything it's cracked up to be. There's a lot of effects that you carry with you for the rest of your life. Sounds like you got a great woman behind you. What does she think? Does she think you should do it? Because I'll tell you what, nothing will put a strain on a relationship like being an operator. I guarantee it. So if you have a super strong relationship and your wife's all for it and you love her, if she loves you, then go for it. If you don't think she can handle that, or you don't think you can handle that, and she's the most important thing in your life, I wouldn't do it. You know, are you going to regret it? I don't know, but regret is kind of relative. Just, if you don't do it, you have to be comfortable with that and just move on with your life, all right? Just because everybody says you would be great at it doesn't mean you would be great at it. It's not for everyone. It is not for everyone, and you're not less of a man if you don't do it, all right? That being said, if you really want to do it and you think you got what it takes, then just do it. It's not that hard. You just have to make a decision. Spider 4351. If the SEALs called you for your services tomorrow, how would you feel about that? And would you be willing, given all that you have already done? That's another tough question. My personal opinion is I kind of feel like it's somebody else's turn to go over there. I wouldn't necessarily want to do it. I'm married now. I got a nice life, nice home, and I'm ready to enjoy the rest of my life. But if I thought it was really that bad and I thought our country was really in trouble and nobody else could do it, then you bet your ass I would be there in a moment's notice. But it'd have to be really bad. Hope that answers your question. Flyer outdoors. Another good question. Another thing on anxiety, there were a couple of occasions I had to get the fuck out of there as well. My friends were like, what the fuck is up with Flyer? How did those close to you react? Did they treat you differently? And did I catch any slack from the video that I made? Well, those that are close to me always supported me. My best friends supported me. My wife supported me. My family supported me. Did they treat me differently? No. They don't always understand what the hell's going on though, and you can't expect them to. They haven't been through what I've been through. And then the third question here is, did I catch any slack from the video I made? Yeah, I caught a lot of slack. I had a lot of memes made about me. I had a lot of people making fun of me because I came out and said I have social anxiety. But does it affect me? Not really. Well, I guess I'd be lying if I said it didn't. Yeah, it pisses me off. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're really thinking about it, if you're gonna make fun of somebody for opening up with the sole purpose of trying to help everybody else, who's the fucking weak one in that situation? John Clymer. All I need to know is whether you like Burger King or McDonald's. Well, John, I can tell you this. Once I get done cutting this stump up, nothing is going to fill my appetite better than a double quarter pounder with cheese. And maybe some gummy bears. And Milk Duds. Vricala. This doesn't pertain to your promotions or sales. Everyone has to make a living. But do you think it's shameful or wrong of channels who fearmonger daily with paid promotions in their videos just to sell survival prepper gear that probably isn't worth a shit to average Joes? Also, I'm about that bubbly game, almost booze free, word up. Good for you, man. Bubbly's where it's at. Until Vigilance Elite comes out with our own cocktail that's alcohol free, and then I'm gonna have to get everybody off bubbly. But your question, do I think it's bullshit that people try to capitalize off fear? I don't know, man. Everybody has their own strategy. I don't do that, but let's look at the example. The example would be the media, right? What do they base everything off of? Fear. They blow everything out of proportion. They want to create a big panic. They want everybody talking about what's on the news. And I think a lot of people in this space actually follow that example. The other thing is, look at who they're catering to. A lot of people aren't even scared, but they pretend like they're in fear because that gives them the excuse to buy the bullshit that they want to buy. Does that make sense? So it's just one feeding the other, and you know, it's, I mean, if you're gonna buy off on the fear shit, I mean, I don't know. I just think 9 times out of 10, it's just an excuse for people to go buy shit that they don't really need. That's just me. Mike Hunt. Nice name, Mike. What are your thoughts on psilocybin as treatment for PTSD? There are legitimate scientific studies, and it's been proven it can regrow neurological pathways. This is an absolute serious question. I'm not a liberal hippie dingus. Respect. Mike, it doesn't matter to me whether you're liberal or not. I get along with everybody. But my thoughts on psilocybin for treatment for PTSD. I don't really know enough about it. In fact, I just heard about it not too long ago from a friend of mine who went down to Peru and did it. He's a former SEAL, and I'm actually trying to get him on the podcast because I am genuinely interested in it. And all I can tell you is he swears by it. And I'll tell you what, it's a really interesting topic, and I hope I can get him up to Nashville to do the Shawn Ryan show and tell us all about his experience doing it down in Peru. He literally told me he's got the answer, and he thinks this would help a whole lot of people. So I'm willing to explore it. Severide Ballistics. What did you give to villagers to gain your trust? Well, I'm guessing by villagers you meant people overseas, right? So when we were in a village and I was trying to gain trust, I would just give them anything. Especially, actually, to be honest with you, when I was leaving, if I knew I was coming back to the same spot, actually it didn't even matter if I was coming back to the same spot. I would always do it because somebody was taking my place. But I would literally give them everything. I would give them my boots. I would give them my shoes. I would give them gloves. I would give them tactical gear. Anything that I didn't want to take back with me, like I would just buy a new set of boots almost every time I would come back on another deployment. So I would just give them all my old stuff for them to use on operations and just around, you know, to help them out with the mission. And I think that went a long ways, and a lot of other guys did the same thing. And it built a lot of trust. They realized we're not there just to do what everybody thinks we're there to do. We actually do give a shit about a lot of those people, and we want to help them with their well-being, and we want them to be comfortable. And so when they saw that kind of compassion and generosity, and realized that we actually do give a shit about them, who we're working with, then they go that extra mile. So it worked. Good question. Tyler Jenkins. Shawn Ryan. Why are you so fucking arrogant? Still just a grunt in my book. Well, Tyler, have you spent your entire life with your head directly up your ass? Or did that just happen? Jacob Wynn. In the previous Q&A, someone asked you how you knew your wife was the one. You replied that you knew she was when you asked her some tough questions and she was able to answer them. What type of questions did you ask her? I'm a single guy who hopes to find a girl one day that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And that answer had me really curious. Good question, Jacob. That's personal, but I'm going to share it with you. So we were at dinner, and let me back up a little bit more. My wife is 10 years sober from being an alcoholic. And at that time, I was kind of just trying to pull out of addiction. And I was addicted to pretty much probably everything you can think of. And I wasn't operating anymore. I didn't really have very many friends. The friends I did have were still operating. And anyways, so we're sitting at a restaurant, and somehow it came up that the question that I hated the most was, what are your hobbies? And I didn't have any hobbies except boozing and doing drugs. And she's the only person that I knew who had done that and is now out of it. And I said, how the hell did you find any new hobbies? What did you know? How did you know you even had any hobbies or something like that? And she said, well, that's a tough question. It just takes time. And that answer to me was very genuine and very real, and I'm not saying it verbatim here, but that's pretty much the gist of it. And there's a whole lot of fake people in this world. Just look at social media. My wife's not one of them. And when I realized that, that meant more to me than anything else at the time. So she was real, and that's what caught me. Plaid omelet. Can you do an episode on the Shawn Ryan show where someone like Glover or Rut interviews you as the guest?
Hi, Plaid Omelet. I'm Katie. I'm Shawn Ryan's wife, and I would like the opportunity to interview Shawn on the Shawn Ryan show. But he has made one stipulation, and that is I need to get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. So somewhere below here, he's linked my Instagram, and the minute I get to 10,000 followers, I can interview him on the Shawn Ryan show.
Ah! Been locked in there for a week. Hamburglar. Man, I could go for a hamburger right now. When can we buy flannels again? Well, Hamburglar, it's gonna be a minute. Actually, I don't know if we are gonna do them again. So one thing I've learned about business is if you're doing something good, everyone in the space is going to copy exactly what you're doing. So we're not going to do them anymore for now. But with that being said, we got plenty of other good shit coming out. So I heard a rumor there might be some Vigilance League gummy bears coming. Hopefully not everybody in the space becomes a candy distributor too, but we're about to be. And we got a whole nother line of like higher end t-shirts with subtle branding about ready to hit the market. Should be here in a couple weeks. I can't promise that, I guess. Things fall through, but should be a couple weeks. But anyways, guys, that's the last question for right now. There's a lot of them. We're gonna break this up into 2 videos. I really appreciate all the support. I know the web store's down. It's gonna be up soon, hopefully, and there'll be some brand new cool merch for you to pick up. But thank you guys again for all the support, and we'll see you soon.